Hello, it is Sarah Waggle, the astrologer and leadership coach, here for this Moon Astrology Tarot for the moon in Sagittarius, December 8th through the 11th through the 13th. Apologies. December 11th through the 13th. Of course, this is the new moon in Sag, and Mercury will station retrograde about 8 hours after that new moon. So, before I get in the tarot, I know I mentioned in the new moon sun signs, sun and rising signs video about getting support where you need it. Remember that when we sever ties with relationships, there is a period of adjustment. Particularly if this was a relationship that was well, I'll just call it like it is, mentally or verbally abusive. And maybe you came to that realization and you have gotten out of the relationship. Now, this could be with family. This could be with friends. This could be with a partner. There's no define, this doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, just any relationship. But there is a process of like readjustment, right? Because now we have to sort of remember our value, remember our worth, remember who we really are. And when we get into, or when we experience these types of relationships, we can forget who we are. And so highly recommend that if you need support, whether it's from a psychotherapist, a coach, or a spiritual guide, to definitely address that situation for yourself, because it's going to take time for you to, for anyone who's been in the situation to, again, remember their value, remember their worth, because you're now going to go through this period of like self-doubt. And can you trust yourself to get into a better relationship next time? I'm speaking both from, talking with other people, and previous experience. And so, I think I said it in the Scorpio moon video that I feel like a lot more people are openly talking about, or publicly talking about, what kind of relationships they've been through, different types of abuse, different types of traumas and things like that. And I don't want to overlook that. And I'm not trying to like sound like I'm glossing over it. But I feel like as we come out of these relationships and you sort of come to this realization that like, you can do better, but now you have to, once you've gotten out of that, you've still got that trauma wound, you've still got that abuse wound. You do have to address and, work your way through that, heal that wound. There we go. That's the words I'm looking for. Okay. So we have the 8 of Swords upright. This is self-imprisonment. So this is what spoke to me about, being in, having just come out of a nasty relationship, is that this is about self-imprisonment. And this could be, you've imprisoned yourself with recent relationships. This could be previous relationships, or maybe you've been, just in self-imprisonment for something that happened in your childhood and you've not allowed yourself to move past it. And this goes back to, the generational wounds that I talked about in the Scorpio moon video, we're breaking generational wounds, generational traumas, but we have lived with it for so long that it becomes conditioning and programming are also words that are coming through, kind of coming through this awakening. But yet, like, there's the questions of like, well, if I do that, am I going to be judged? If I do that, are they going to, come after me? Or am I going to be in trouble? All of these things. And so we've all been kind of conditioned and learned and programmed to not allow ourselves to open up to something. Like something's coming through. Hang on. So I met this person. I met a person a while ago, and they noticed that I was wearing pants with planets on them. I have like all kinds of funky pants that I wear. It's unfortunate that I spend most of my time on video and you only see my boring plain colored tops when I actually have super cool pants. Anywho, so she's like, oh, I love your pants with all the planets. I'm like, oh, thanks. I'm an astrologer. And she's like, oh, I'm not allowed to study I'm not allowed to understand astrology. I'm not allowed to learn astrology. My faith won't let me, learn astrology or believe in astrology or whatever. And so like, that's what I'm saying about like, we imprison ourselves into, we aren't allowed to do this thing that sounds interesting and, oh, I'm fascinated by the planets, but I'm not allowed to be open to that because of my faith, because of my background, because of my family, because of my, my, even my boyfriend or my spouse or whatever. Right. And that's a self-imprisonment, because we're choosing to limit ourselves to not exploring new ways, new avenues, because of something that we have been, that's been ingrained in our systems for our entire lives, or generations of our, if we're talking about family and whatever. And so this is like I feel like this Sag new moon is like bringing in this opportunity for people to open up to something completely out of their comfort zone, completely foreign to them. Because, Sagittarius is long distance travel and broadening your horizons, but it doesn't have to be about like travel, like physical geographic travel, right? You could open yourself up to reading a book about astrology, reading a book about tarot, opening yourself up to what other religions are out there besides the one that I grew up in, right? And so, and I'm not saying that that's how it has to be. I'm speaking about Sag archetypes. Sagittarius is belief systems, philosophies, and things, and higher education. And so, while I'm speaking a lot about religion, spirituality, and things like that, it's not necessarily limited to that, right? You could be like, you grew up in a family of farmers and labormen, and you want to go be a graphics designer or something like that. Like, it's same conversation, different topics. Anyway, so I hope this is making some sense. So we have kind of put ourselves in this imprisonment of, holding ourselves back, or leaning into our limitations. And this Sagittarius season, particularly with this new moon, with Mars and Sag, is saying, get the hell out of your comfort zone. Try something new, right? Do something completely out of your comfort zone. You don't have to like stand on your high horse about it. You don't have to be self-righteous about it, but you can be confident and empowered by the new thing. And not everybody has to agree with you. That's the way the world works. Like, that's the beauty of incoming Aquarius energy. Pluto and Aquarius starting, Pluto ingresses into Aquarius early next year. That's what Aquarius is. Aquarius, most people who are, I'll speak for myself because I'm an Aquarius. Many of us who are Aquarius, I'm not so much interested in what you're interested in, but if you're authentic and you love it and you're passionate about it, I'm going to listen. I took a research class when I was in grad school, and nobody wanted to take this class. It was like the most boring class on our curriculum, but our professor was like super hilarious, super entertaining, and it made the class worth everybody's time and worth everybody's investment to attend, because the guy was hilarious. I don't know how you make research fun. If my statistics professor had made statistics that much fun, like, I might have done better in stats. But anyway, so my point is that this Sagittarius season and this new moon, and as we move forward into Capricorn season, this Capricorn season's going to be a lot of like, get into gear and grind right through. But anyway, let's focus, Sarah. But as we move through this Sagittarius new moon, you know that you can break you can break up with things or belief systems and empower yourself into the new path that you want to do. We also have the Page of Latinum in reverse. This is, of course, Dr. Rega. It's in reverse. So there is some stunted curiosity, or some feelings around being curious. Like, if you are wanting to embark on an educational journey, but you're like, what's my family going to think? What's this group going to think, or that group going to think of me? And so there may be some stunting there because you've got some feelings around it. Again, this is this opportunity to really, work with a support person. If you're looking to hire a coach or a support person, astrologer like myself, you really want to look for somebody who is where you want to go, right? When I embarked on my nomad journey, I hired a coach who was a nomad. When I, have wanted to work on my business goals, I've looked for coaches who are, coaches for entrepreneurs. When I have wanted to, grow spiritually and connect more with my spirituality, I looked for coaches who were, going where I wanted to go spiritually, and could have me open up to them and talk about the things that I wanted to explore from a spiritual perspective, or from a nomad perspective, or from a entrepreneurial perspective. So think about where you want to go, and then look for somebody who, a support person who is where you want to go. Right? If you want to be more confident, more open on your social platforms, look for somebody who's a content creator, and you don't have to hire them necessarily, but maybe like pick their brain, or, just befriend them or whatever. Right? A lot of the people who have helped me with my content and improving my content, were just content creators who nitpicked up my shit. And it sucks. It hurts to hear that, but at the same time, it was constructive, and it was from somebody who I knew just wanted to see me improve my content. So anywho, this is some tough energy we're working through, because a lot, especially if you have not been working on a healing journey, if you have been and you're kind of having your rise of the Phoenix moment, congratulations. Not everybody's there. And that's okay, because we are each on an individual, person by person journey through this life, through this energetic existence in these meat suits we call human bodies. And so, really be okay with wherever you are. Know that you've made progress in some way. If you are watching my videos, you've made progress in some way, right? I'm not the easiest, I'm not the easiest voice to take. I'm not the easiest person to listen to. And I don't mean that in like a self-deprecating way. I just mean that I'm very honest, and I'm very real, and I'm very upfront. And I have a feeling that 2024 is going to get even edgier with me, just because I'm feeling my own energy. And like, I feel like it's no bullshit time. Like 2024 is going to be no bullshit. It's not going to be, I'm not going to sugarcoat it anymore. I'm not going to, and I don't sugarcoat it at all, but I mean that it's going to be like, what part of your victimhood are you ready to be done with? What part of, your journey are you ready to be done with? And are you open to what's coming for you, and that you can, step into something new. Anyway, this has been a very long-winded, I feel like, but maybe it's stuff that somebody needed to hear from me, and therefore I'm going to go ahead and publish it as is. I sometimes finish these videos and think, gosh, I should really re-record that and condense it and whatever. And I always end up posting them, because something I have said has made a difference for someone. And so if that is you, then you're welcome. And I thank you all so much for continuing to watch my channel, share my content, like, comment, feedback, all of the things. I very much appreciate it. I'm very thankful for the progress that my channel has made in the last year. I have worked really hard. I'm going to continue to work really hard. Do have surprises coming very soon in the next couple of videos, so stay tuned for that. Of course, you've probably already watched the Sagittarius new moon video for your sun and rising sign. This is a fire energy. I did not do the chart. That's okay. I'll do it I did it in the rising sign video. But anywho, so thanks so much for tuning in. This was the moon in Sagittarius, December 11th through the 13th. Links below for how to book with me, work with me, all of the things. If I'm not your person, but you're finding this content and you're like, damn, she's lit, and I really want to know how she got where she got, but maybe I'm not the support person you want to work with, that's okay. I have a repertoire of coaches and support people I can refer you to help you in whatever way you want. So you can definitely not, if you don't want to book with me, but you're like, damn, I really want to, where did she get what she's got? I can hook you up. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll talk to you in the next video.